Well, good morning. Leaving Strontier in about 7:15. Oh, cattle grid. There we go. And going to try out a couple of new things on the bike. This is going to be part of a series of videos as I build up the preparations for the Torino Nice Rally. The two new things I'm trying out today, one is the quad lock navigation system, more as a backup, and second, it's my new bag, which is the Alp Kit Stingray. This has been custom built, and actually I think I might have mucked up slightly, so if you're ever thinking of having a frame bag, I've got a little bit of advice for you. Let's start with thoughts about the frame bag. I got this from Alp Kit, and they ask you to measure the internal triangle on a bit of cardboard. So that's what I did. I measured it precisely, sent the cardboard template in, and they produced a frame bag that exactly fits that template. But I'm not sure that's what's the best thing. Had I made it slightly smaller than the triangle, then the Velcro straps that hold it in place could have been used to cinch it tight. Why that's useful? Well, it's useful because the big danger of frame bags is that they bow out when you put stuff in. Shouldn't have stopped by a cattle grid, should I? And if they bow out when you put stuff in, then there's a risk of the bottom rubbing against the cranks or the top rubbing against your knees, and wearing a hole in either the bag or your knees would not be a good thing. So I might have messed up there. At the moment it's performing fine, it's not bowing out, but I'm just on road, and half of this ride today is going to be off-road, so I'll be interested to see how it goes. Work traffic, that's what happens when you do this on a weekday. It's quite a curious sensation because this bike does feel really quite heavy. Possibly because while it's been in the bike shop I've been using my lovely light Parley. Car coming. Yeah, and maybe I'm comparing it to that. But also because I think I have probably packed or planning to pack too much. And this is heavy before it even gets the front or the rear back on. But the question is, what out of that lot do I drop? For example, jacket. The obvious choice for something like this would be my Gore-Tex Shake Dry. But actually, this jacket is light. It's got an interesting cuff system, so that will keep my gloves relatively dry. It's got a hood, which could be incredibly useful in an alpine storm, and it's still pretty light by comparison. It doesn't pack down as small. So I think the obvious solution is to test. So in the next series of videos that will have a similar looking thumbnail to this one, I'm going to gradually build up my overnights. I'll probably start with a one night near home, then go out for a couple of days, and just see what kit works for me and what doesn't. If you're interested in this, please follow the channel. Please subscribe. You know the rest. Right, crack on. This is the route I'm riding. Part road, part gravel. It's a superb 60-mile loop, and there's a link to it in the video description. There's a video of the whole thing in the adventure cycling playlist called Scotland's Best Gravel Loop, and it's now in guidebooks. Excuse me, Doris. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Petunia. So here's the thought. Why don't I go through the stuff that I currently plan to take, and then we'll revisit that selection after I've done some test rides and just before I head off for France. This is the bike loaded, and I'll start with the rear pack. The fluoro bag is for extra food and hangs out front. Bowl and spork, coffee bags, alcohol stove, titanium pan and windscreen. I'll use a better mat than this, and below it is a hooped bivvy. Two things in that rear bag immediately stand out. The hooped bivvy is probably overkill, but I quite like having the flexibility to use it as a tent and seal myself off should the worst happen. I could have used a lighter weight bivvy, but I don't know. I really want to spend quite a bit of time camping outdoors high in the Alps. The other thing is the pan. I mean, am I going to be making meals, or will I be able to buy them? The alternative, because I only have a very small stove in there, tiny alcohol stove, the alternative would be like one of the little titanium cup pots. And I have one of those, but the difference in weight, it's neither here nor there. So the size looks big, but actually I think it's more useful to have the larger pan, because I can cook up a meal in that.
I nearly forgot, that rear pack also has a 400 grams of down Rab Neutrino sleeping bag rated to -7. So, the front bag, and remember all this might change. Here's all the clothes I'm not wearing when riding in hot weather. Waterproof pants and gloves, jacket, some dehydrated meals, and a down jacket. Insulated gilet, arm and knee warmers, toiletry kit with spare glasses and a tiny head torch, merino base layer and warm tights. I've got spare cycling shorts, waterproof socks to use off the bike, underwear and shorts, snood and tiny towel, and a warm hat.
Among that lot, I don't think there is much I can lose. The only question is, do I need to have an insulated gilet and a down jacket? Possibly not.
There's a stem bag, I'm buying a second one, and a top tube bag with a power bank and cable, sunscreen, and a front light. There'll be a backlight too. The bottom pouch of my frame bag is emergency type stuff. Small first aid kit, wipes, an emergency satellite beacon, sanitizer, fuel, and assorted tools and spares. The top pouch is where I could make big savings, but at a cost to the videos, because this is home to my new drone. I'll show you what it can do in a moment. The controller and spare batteries and data cards for the cameras, plus a charger and cables. I've also popped a pump and some chamois cream in there too.
Well, they were taking no prisoners, were they? At least the log lorry stopped. That first one, crikey, didn't hang about at all. Sometimes you think you're quite safe on these back roads, but you're not.
Fortunately, incidents like that are quite rare. There's 5 miles of main road to Glenfinnan. This is the busy road to the Isles. On a rainy Monday morning, the National Trust for Scotland's cafe and visitor centre are even busier.
If you want to sell anything in Scotland, stick a Highland cow on it. My friend makes and sells her own cards. The Highland cows won't last 5 minutes in the shop.
Well, they're waiting for us. We're going to the monument.
I find it easy to be disparaging about the hordes of visitors here, but I have to remember how important they are to the local economy that relies on tourism.
But you know, simple fact is we are all tourists somewhere. And as long as people here are having a good time, that's what matters.
Then I managed to escape onto the reason to be here. This is the long gravel road down the shore of the spectacular Loch Shiel. The active track on my new drone lets it follow me, and the shots are good. I use the controller mounted on my bars to keep the drone close, yet I still don't know whether to take it.
That's the extra I'm taking. When set out like that, it really doesn't look that much, does it? I really don't know. I mean, obviously the drone shots are awesome and you don't want to miss an awesome shot. But for most of today I couldn't fly. It's been chucking it down with rain, so... And really, this is about the ride for me. Making the video is second. I've not been commissioned to make this film. So... I don't know.
Well, it's turned out rather nice now, and there's only, what, about 4 miles to go till I reach home. However, those 4 miles are over the steepest hill around here that's kind of known locally as the Pollock Hill, and it is mega steep. So, by all means, stick around and watch me suffer on that. I'll see if the drone can follow me up there. and perhaps then take a look at some of the videos that YouTube suggests. Give me a thumbs up and I'll see you again next time. Now I'll admit this is a good shot, but while you are watching this, I am getting monstered by midges, which the drone obviously can't see, especially when I stop to pack it up, to keep on riding, to move on to the next shot.